Good morning, class. This is Teacher Shiena, and for today, we will discuss about linking verbs. Verb is an action word. However, not all type of verbs express action, and one of which is linking verb. Linking verb differs from action verbs due to the fact that it does not express some physical or mental action of the subject, but it only tells about what the subject is, not what it is doing. It only links the subject to a subject complement. Subject complement is a word, phrase, or clause that follows a linking verb to re-identify or describe the subject. Additionally, it may function as either an adjective or a noun. The common examples of linking verbs are is, are, am, was, were, can be, could be, will be, and the list goes on. For example, if we use the word is in a sentence with a function as a linking verb, it could be John's sister is sick. The linking verb in the sentence is links the subject, which is John's sister, to the subject complement, which is sick. In the sentence, the linking verb only tells the condition of the subject, not what it is doing. However, linking verbs are not just linking verbs. We also have 5-sense verbs. From the word itself, 5-sense verbs relate to the 5 human senses, which is to look, to feel, to smell, to hear, and to taste. For example, the carbonara looks awful. The word looks is a 5-sense verb. It only describes the physical condition of the subject, which is carbonara. Another example. In the sentence, the doorbell sounds broken, the word sounds tells the condition of the doorbell, which makes it the linking verb. However, not all the time linking verbs express themselves as linking verbs. The common linking verbs can also be transitive verbs, meaning they can take an object. Let's consider the following examples. The judge stayed the execution. Get me a roast beef sandwich, please. In these cases, the verb stay and get has a direct object, which is the word execution and roast beef sandwich. Hence, there's no state of being involved. Linking verbs could also act as auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. The rule is, if the supposed linking verb is next to an ing verb, then it is a helping verb. However, if it is followed by a predicate adjective or predicate noun, then it is a linking verb. Let's consider the following examples. She was crying an ocean of tears when her boyfriend broke up with her last night. The word was is followed by the word crying, which is in gerund form. It is an ing verb, so it is a helping verb. Another example. The girls are happy because they are eating all together. In this example, the word are is a linking verb because a predicate adjective follows it. So much for that. Let us now move forward to be verbs. To be verbs are used to describe or tell us the condition of people, things, places, and ideas. It is a verb that shows a state of being. Hence, to be verbs do not express action. The most common to be verbs are am, is, are, was, were, will be, was being, and has been. For example, he is a great leader. He is a teacher. She is happy. The to be verbs in these sentences are is. The word is are used to describe the subject he, she, and he. To be verbs can also be in passive sentences, progressive forms, perfect forms, and in all English tenses. To be verbs also acts as linking verb joining the sentence subject with a subject complement or complement adjective. And that's it for today. We have tackled about linking verbs. Linking verbs links a subject to a subject complement. They are not action verbs, for they do not express action. We also tackled about 5-sense verbs. 5-sense verbs relate to 5 human senses, which is to look, to feel, to smell, to hear, and to taste. However, not at all times linking verbs act as linking verbs. Common linking verbs could also act as transitive verbs, meaning that they take an object. They could also be auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. The rule is, if the supposed linking verb is next to an ing verb, then it is a helping verb. However, if it is followed by a predicate adjective or a predicate noun, then it is a linking verb. Thank you, class. I hope you have learned a lot today. See you on my next video. Bye!
Greetings! Seeing that you're all well acquainted with the concept of linking verbs, let's talk about how it differs from an action verb and an auxiliary verb. So, what is an action verb? It is a verb that expresses physical or mental action. The action verb tells us what is the subject of the clause or sentence is doing physically or mentally. Example of action verbs are fell, ran, jump, kick, break, eat, smile, frown, and so much more. So let me show you how action verb is different from a linking verb. Let's use the word acted. So the sentence is, Nicole acted suspiciously when asked about the missing wallet. So you might ask, how is this considered an action verb even when it links the subject Nicole with a noun or an adjective that describes that subject? In the sentence, acted is an action verb because it describes the action performed by the subject. Even though the noun, wallet, follows this verb, this noun does not describe the subject, Nicole. Therefore, acted cannot be a linking verb and must be an action verb. To further elaborate, in the sentence, we use act as an action verb, meaning to do something. Then we made use of an adverb, suspiciously, to modify the idea that it is an action verb. Now let's use the same word, acted, but using it as a linking verb. Nicole acted nervous when her mother saw her failing grade. So you would ask, why is the word acted considered a linking verb when in the previous sentence it is not? Because in the sentence, acted becomes a linking verb because it connects the subject Nicole to the noun failing grades that describes or connects to the subject Nicole. To further explain this, we use acted in its meaning of to appear to be. We use it as a linking verb and therefore following it with an adjective, nervous, for emphasis, it being a linking verb. Let me show you another example that differentiates action verb from linking verbs. Dean kicked his brother to wake him up from his nap. Action word is kicked. So why is it an action verb? and not a linking verb when it is linking the subject Dean to the rest of the sentence. It is because kicked is used simply as an action verb because it describes the action performed by the subject Dean. Even though the noun brother follows this verb, this noun does not describe the subject Dean. Therefore, kicked cannot be a linking verb and must be an action verb. Now let me show you an example of a linking verb. Clary was Jace's girlfriend. Why is was a linking verb in the sentence? Because was connects the subject Clary to the noun Jace that describes the subject. If you have noticed that while linking verbs and action verbs are both able to connect the subject of the sentence to another noun in the sentence, their purpose in doing so is very much different. Now, I will provide 3 sentences and I will show you if it is a linking verb or an action verb. She felt excited after the ride. So felt is a linking verb. It connects the descriptive adjective excited to the subject she. Janine smells the roses. Now this sentence, this is not a linking verb. Smell is an action verb. It is not linking anything. It is simply stating an action. Last one. The woman grew silent. Grew is a linking verb because in the sentence, grew mean became, which makes it a linking verb. Now let us proceed to differentiate linking verb and auxiliary verb. So what is an auxiliary verb? It is a verb that adds function or grammatical meaning to the clause in which it occurs. So, as to express tense, aspects, modality, voice, and emphasis. Examples of auxiliary verbs is be, am, are, is, was, were, being. Can, could, do, did, does, doing, have, had, has, having, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. As you have noticed, all the auxiliary verbs, you might have noticed how it is very similar to most linking verbs, that it might get a little bit confusing. However, there is a way to analyze whether a verb is linking or auxiliary. So how do we analyze whether a verb is linking or an auxiliary? Auxiliary verbs cannot exist in a sentence without another verb, while linking verbs can stand on their own in the sentence. It is only the matter on how it is used in a sentence. The word can be an auxiliary verb or a linking verb depending on how it is used in a sentence. Have you played the new installment in COD yet? So in this sentence, have is an auxiliary because it is paired with the action word played. It is simply helping the verb and putting more emphasis on the verb played. Now let's see it as a linking verb. I have a box filled with china dolls in the attic. So, what makes it a linking verb? Have is a linking verb in the sentence because it describes the subject I by using another noun, box. So, that is the difference between linking verbs and auxiliary verbs. Now, I will provide 2 sentences. One is an example of a linking verb, and another is an example for an auxiliary. Okay, first is I am beautiful. So this is an example of a linking verb, am. It is because the word am is simply describing the subject, I, using the adjective beautiful. Next is I am cheating. This is an auxiliary verb because the word am is used to emphasize the main verb cheating. But you can turn the sentence into a linking verb as I am a cheater. Before we move on to the next part of the discussion, I want to share with you 3 steps for understanding linking verbs. Number 1. The most common linking verb is any form of the to be. Number 2. Other common linking verbs are sense verbs. And number 3 is linking verbs are a useful descriptive tool for writers. If ever you are inspired to write anything of a piece, always remember these verbs. I hope that you can apply these tips to further understand linking verbs in the future. Before we end our discussion, I'd like to share a tip. Whenever you find it hard or confusing in evaluating whether a verb is a linking verb or not, you can simply ask yourself these questions. The first question is the verb connecting or linking a noun or adjective to the subject? And the second is, does the noun or adjective describe the subject? If the answer to both of these questions is yes, then it is a linking verb. I hope that this discussion made you understand the differences between linking, action, and auxiliary verbs. Thank you!